What's up guys, I'm JacobTSuggs and welcome back to another video. I was honestly going to get rid of that intro, but I felt like it was just too nostalgic for this channel to scrap entirely. And speaking of things related to this channel that are pretty nostalgic, remember J.J. Abrams? After the release of the Rise of Skywalker in December 2019, we haven't had a new film from a filmmaker that seemed pretty promising at the time. And no, I don't think that entirely hinges on the fact that Episode 9 of Star Wars had such a divisive reaction. Again, keyword, entirely. If we rewind the clock back to September 2019, Abrams and his company Bad Robot signed a deal with Warner Media for $250 million, in which, for 5 years, Abrams and his company would work with Warner Brothers to make new shows and movies for HBO Max and theaters. However, it's currently 2026, so I feel like we know how those plans ultimately went. However, in Abrams' defense, this might have been more of an issue with just a lot of moving parts at Warner Media, and if you keep up with any sort of entertainment news, you probably already know the buyouts and mergers, the numerous things that have happened with Warner Brothers in the past couple years. So as funny as it is to think about how J.J. Abrams took the bag and ran, he most certainly did not do that. But considering this is Warner Brothers, I wouldn't have blamed him even if he did. JJ has since shown up as a producer on multiple other projects, as well as being a frequent moderator during multiple filmmaker Q&As. Most recently for Wake Up Dead Man with none other than fellow Star Wars director Rian Johnson.
Let's talk about the franchise trilogy everyone wants to hear our thoughts about. Let's talk about Knives Out. Let's do it. Come on.
And that's great and all, but it does raise a question. Is J.J. Abrams ever going to direct a movie again? The answer is a resounding yes, and in traditional J.J. Abrams fashion, he's already filmed it. On May 8th, 2024, it was announced that Abrams would direct an untitled new film. A lot of people were throwing around the working title Acorns, even making it on Letterboxd for a little bit, but I could never find any official confirmation for that working title. Glenn Powell was in early talks to star in the film alongside Jenna Ortega, yet nothing was known about the film's plot, though it was heavily speculated that it would be a supernatural thriller. So what do we know right now? As of right now, we know that the working title for the film was Ghost Rider, but the official title is now confirmed to be The Great Beyond, and it stars Glenn Powell and Jenna Ortega, as well as Samuel L. Jackson, which honestly I didn't expect, but that's pretty cool. Principal photography began in London in April 2025 and continued in both Edinburgh and Glasgow in June 2025. Things are very much being kept under wraps about this particular film, however you can find some production images from around this time of filming online. It seemingly has a really cool futuristic look that aligns with early reports that it would be inspired by 80s films like The Last Starfighter. And I feel like it's worth mentioning that the film isn't just being directed by Abrams, but it's actually being written by him too, so here's to hoping that we get another original project like Super 8, which is one of my favorite J.J. Abrams movies, and just one of my favorite movies in general. However, I can't leave you with just that, so just know what I'm about to say is purely speculation based on some things that I've gathered online. The film is apparently going to follow a fantasy author who reveals that the mythical world that he created is actually real. Now, that's not a groundbreaking premise in my personal opinion, but for what it's worth, sometimes it's how a story is told that makes it particularly interesting. And more importantly, this is just online speculation, so it could be entirely false, though I also believe that this premise does hold a lot of fun intrigue to it. The movie was originally supposed to be released in November 2026, however, it was recently moved to have an official release date of October 1st, 2027. Some footage of this project was also shown recently at CinemaCon, and from everything that I've heard, it does look really fun and super intriguing. But personally, whenever it comes to J.J. Abrams stuff, you guys know me, I want to know what happened to that Cloverfield sequel that was teased back in like 2021, and then we never heard anything about it again. So J.J. Abrams, if you're watching this video, what's going on, man? I want another Cloverfield movie really bad. It's been enough time since the Cloverfield paradox, okay? That being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I know it's been a really long time since I've uploaded on this channel, but I was feeling a little bit nostalgic today, and I was like, you know what? These people have waited so patiently for me to upload another video on this channel, and I felt like a mysterious J.J. Abrams project was just the perfect opportunity to hop on Frame by Frame again, and just talk about it with you guys once again. But if you want to see me more consistently, you can follow me on Twitter, link down in the description below. And I also have a channel that I occasionally upload stuff about Star Wars on. As you can tell behind me, I'm obviously a big fan. So you can definitely follow me there as well. But until the next video, I'm Frame by Frame. Remember the name, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys.